Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another week of LCS reactions and predictions. Two things before we get started. Number one, I wanted to share that I'm going to be doing a live stream on Tuesday, the 24th, probably at around 10 a.m. EST. It's nothing like super important, but I'm just gonna stream on YouTube while making a draft tool. So that way, I just want a tool that scores drafts essentially. So that's what I'm gonna be working on Tuesday. If anyone wants to stop by, pretty much just like chatting about random shit the whole time, then feel free. It would be nice to have company. If not, fine. It is what it is. It's nothing super league related, I'd say. Number two, if you guys have any takes, any hot takes, plat takes, perhaps, Uh, leave them in the comments beneath any video, and I'm more than happy to take a look at them and address them in the next video if I feel like they're worth talking about. And with that, let's get into the video. As you can see in our schedule here on the top left, well, actually, no, I guess it'd be my right, your left, whatever, of the screen. I added this. It took so long to do. A bit of a right click and an add source. But yeah, we're going to start by talking about C9 Fly. Overall, this week's of LCS games were up and down, really. One series was really fun and really interesting, and the other was not even worth watching. I'm gonna be honest. And so we'll start with the one that's really not worth watching, and that's the C9 FlyQuest one. This game was or this series really was a complete stomp. It wasn't close. Every game, FlyQuest just got absolutely annihilated. I'd say game two from Fly was a little more reasonable in a sense. Like, they got off to a better start. It was somewhat even coming out of lane, and then they just kind of got destroyed again. But the other two games were complete stomps, just not even close. This doesn't really change my opinion on either team. This is kind of what I predicted. I thought Fly might get like a game off of C9, but overall, I thought that C9 was just going to crush them, really. And I think C9 will pretty much crush everybody on their way to a win in the first split. And again, later on in the year, we'll see what happens. But right now, they seem they seem way too good. I don't think anyone really comes close to it. So that was C9 Fly. If you want to watch the game or the series back, I mean you can. I personally don't recommend it. The game or the series really can just be summed up with FlyQuest got completely stomped in all three games. Really, like that's with no nuance, that's pretty much what happened. So I wouldn't waste too much time doing it. Next up, DSG Sentinels. This series was awesome. Really great to watch. I personally watched Toast's POV of the entire series, and it was really entertaining. Really back and forth. Some pretty crazy drafts and pretty crazy picks. And since there was only two series this week, I thought I'll probably just watch the vast majority of the highlights of this series, just to make it a little bit easier. So let me switch over here. All right. So first game was pretty much how this series this is how I thought this series would go in the first game. DSG pretty much destroyed them. It really wasn't close in terms of this draft. I'm kind of covering Aatrox here, but it was Aatrox jungle, Scion, Oriana, Jhin, Nico. First of all, Sentinels, I do not like this draft. I think their damage is very limited or very minimal. And I think their team fight is kind of hard to play. I think, I don't know. They wanted the Nocturne Oriana, I imagine, to give them like some solid engage, and they just didn't really get it. I mean, Huhi on the Nico is solid. I like that, but I just hate Jin with comps like these, right? Like, Jin is fine. There's nothing wrong with playing Jin, but he's more of a utility AD carry, especially at the pro level. And so if you're not playing with a super high damage mid laner or a super high damage jungler or a super high damage top laner, at least one, I just don't think it's worth playing. I feel like you're almost always going to lose. And that is pretty much what happened. This game was was decided right here, really. So we can watch the first sequence. So fighting over grubs, DSG already got dragged. Kryra goes in. Nico ulti is early, it just doesn't do anything. He dies. Sion comes in, Lions dodges it. And then, even though a really good shockwave by Darkwings there onto Castle and onto Kryra, Impact still dies, and Sentinels just lose. They lose the fight there. Look at Golden Glue, bro. Oh, the struggle is real. But I have to give them credit, because they end up winning this series, and I can't believe it. I really can't, because I still think Sentinels is a shit team, and I'll get into that later with my Sentinels rant. But they're still a bad team, I think. I still think they're worse than DSG, even after this series. I really do feel bad for him, because I think this team just isn't very good. But he's used to that. He's coached a lot of teams that, on paper, really aren't very good. Darkwings kind of gets shit on here by Kryra and by Call Me. And I'm going to be honest, this is really the whole game. They have a 3k gold lead at 12 minutes. At 27... Ooh. Oh my... Fucking ads. Jesus. Okay. At 28 minutes, they're fighting, or they're just taking Baron. They're taking Baron 4v5, by the way, because Call Me's over here. He's going to TP in, but they're starting at 4v5. They're 6k up. 6k up. 4 dragons. They have soul. It is a complete stomp by DSG. This is, I think this is the clearest indication of, like, which teams are better than which. This is, like, just absolutely brutal. And so that's game. After this, they win. I think they finished with like a 14k gold lead. Yep, 14k, 32-minute game. A little bit longer than it needed to be, I'll say. But overall, really clean from Disguised. Really clean. Kryra had a great game. Call Me had a great game. Sejed and Lions had quiet games, but they were good. Castle was good. So yeah, overall, I mean, this team, terrible. Just in general, bad. Did not play well at all. Fucking Sentinels, man. Reminds me a lot of the TL series from the week prior, where Sentinels really didn't have to do anything. When Team Liquid played well, just remotely well, you know, just okay, they pretty much stomped Sentinels. But the moment that they play a little bit subpar, like, just Sentinels will, I don't know, man. They get free wins off of it. It's kind of crazy. Second game draft, I really like Sentinels draft here. I'll say that. I thought Golden Glue kind of cooked. Love the Ashe Seraphine, great bot lane. I think Seraphine is an underrated support in team fights, especially at a high level right now. Does not get played nearly as much as she should. If you're piloting it well, I think it's really fucking busted, especially on the right items. If you're going, if you're going the full support items, right, no damage. I think people who go damage on this champ are just like fucking trolling. I'm not gonna lie. But the Ashe is always kind of a weird pick. I think she doesn't do well into a lot of comps because early she's just not very good in team fights, and so it makes it hard to contest early objectives. But into this comp in particular, she's pretty solid. Very short range on all of these. Very easy to peel these champs, especially with like Jarvan and Seraphine and Ryze, and also, the peel that she can provide herself. And so overall, I really like Ashe here into this comp in particular. Jarvan, Gnar, Ryze, very standard in the current meta. I no problem with this. In terms of disguise draft, I'm not a huge fan of Anivia Pantheon here. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's a little vegan and a little too easy to beat in a team fight. Like late game, their comp just doesn't work. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know Anivia is a late game champion, but I just think without meaningful engage, it's just really hard, right? Now, if this was the world's greatest Blitzcrank, right? If this Blitzcrank was absolutely goated and just insane, hits every hook, always finds the carry, this game is completely different. And I think this draft is completely different too. But you need the Blitzcrank to do so much heavy lifting here for this team. For this team comp to work, I don't know. Now the performance that Lions puts on is truly something to behold. And I'll watch all of this game because why not? You know, I have plenty of time. This is going to be a really short episode otherwise. All right. Castle gets absolutely fisted in this game. It's pretty bad. Dies getting, you know, at least part of the wave here. That's fine. You know, he gets caught. It is what it is. Anivia gets free push. But here's Lions. Watch this. Okay. I think they do get a kill here. Yep. I think Lions dies. No. Oh, Lions. Oh, Lions. That hook, buddy. Sajed plays this well. Look at this. Yeah. Calculated. Love that. So overall, not bad for disguise so far. Kryra's gonna get jungle, or sorry, is gonna get drag. You'd much rather have drag than have grubs, so that's always solid. Yeah, overall pretty even. I'd say the only real discrepancy is in mid, but that's not really Calmy's fault. Darkwing's just kind of roamed and got the kill there. Okay. Castle dies again under tower. They're really focusing Castle here on the Renekton. And there's a reason for this. And that's because in late game team fights, if this Renekton has any sort of presence in the game, it is impossible to play the game as Ashe. Or I shouldn't say impossible, but it's a lot harder. And you want this Ashe to essentially be free firing. Because, again, all these guys are very short range. And if they're all short range into an Ashe, you know, you're not going to win. You're never going to win, right? And so if this Renekton can get ahead and has any sort of presence in the game whatsoever, team fights are really difficult for this Ashe. Because not only do you have to deal with Pantheon and theoretically Blitzcrank, but you also have to deal with this Renekton, right? And so they are just diving and ganking, and they're destroying Castle this whole game. I don't think he necessarily played lane super poorly. I just think... And there's Lions dying. Classic. Kryra engage here. Nice Seraphine ult by Huki. Hambak just dies for free here. Buys some time from Darkwing. Sajed, yeah, it's just, yeah. Not playable. Can we get a quick replay of that? What actually happens here in the bottom fight? So Lions gets hit, which, I mean, I'm seeing a flash. Flash is available. Anytime Flash is available, man, it's a bit sus. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a little sus. That's pretty bad. Yeah. So Lions should have flashed this. He didn't because he pretty much had his worst series I think I've ever seen him have. Dies. And once Lions is dead, this fight becomes a lot harder for DSG. TP by Call Me. Flash by Call Me out so that way they can kill Hambak, and they do. Blows ulti there. Kryra lives for a little bit longer here using the W. And Sajed just dies to Ashe because Ashe is fully stacked. Coming into that fight, there's just no way. Another thing is that this Anivia is just really weak right now, and so it's not going to do anything. So anyway, this fight becomes or this game becomes a lot harder after this fight. This is pretty brutal for Disguised. The only good thing that DSG has going for them right now is the fact that a lot of the gold is on the Kai'Sa. And so, you know, if you want a guy to carry, you definitely want Sajed to carry. Lions comes in here, doesn't do anything, he's just kind of dicking around. And he just walks away after this, I'm pretty sure. Anyway. Castle going for the impact. Big hook by Lions. Huge hook. They do not get the kill. Arrow misses. Castle's really just kind of caught out here. Good Seraphine ult. Sentinels play that pretty well, and Castle goes back in for no reason at the end. Yeah, Sentinels play this pretty well. I will give Sentinels this. They kited DSG really well in this fight. Look at Castle, though. He doesn't need to die here, by the way. Castle does not need to die here. Flash, notice, everybody. Flash is up. Flash is up. Okay. I didn't see him use it in the fight, I don't think. Bro, his brain like lagged there. And instead of just like, oh my god, he greeted. That's all it was. He just greeted. I mean, it doesn't really matter. This game's pretty doomed. But like, okay, Lions. Just, wow. If he called for Blitzcrank in draft, it's painful, man. It's really bad. Okay, Kryra goes in. Or, sorry, Kryra flashes out. Lions under tower. I think Call Me does actually save them here with this. Maybe Lions dies. I don't remember. Oh, good wall. Good wall by Call Me. Really solid. And they actually, I think they actually get out here. Yeah, they do. Solid. But on the other side of the map, as Azale's saying, Dark Wings is pretty much just free farming. Speaking of Dark Wings. Okay, bro. This is such a shame. This is such a shame here. Like, Sajed doesn't get a kill there. It's very sad. I mean, it is a 2-item Jarvan, but he does have Merc Treads, actually. It's pretty tough for Kai'Sa, but still. And they don't get Dark Wings either. Pretty painful. Also, I'm noticing, see if you notice the same thing, another flash. Flash is up. We're getting trapped in the prison here, and we're not flashing. Lions does not like using flash. I mean, he wouldn't have died if he flashed there, genuinely. That's another instance of him just dying for free for no reason. Call Me. Good flash by Call Me. Kryra comes in. Wow, impact. Nice ult. Rahel should... Yep, Rahel dies here. Kryra... Oh. Sajed's crazy. Sajed's crazy with it. Yeah, really solid fight by Sajed. I don't remember if they get Dark Wings here. I guess they do. Oh, nice. Yeah, really solid there from DSG. Good fight. Good fight. Yeah, okay, so DSG bring this game back. DSG actually bring this game back. Even though they really just should have lost. They should have lost, like, really hard. And this is, again, because Sentinels, even with the better team comp and the lead, is just not a very good team. They miss arrow. Castle is kind of off on the side. Kryra gets the drag. Now, what's the problem here? See if you can spot it. Your carries are here. Your tanks are here. Your useless Blitzcrank, who's playing with 0 IQ this game, is here. Your enemy team is here. What's the issue? You have 10 minutes to find out. Nah. Right? Okay. This, I'm not really sure what DSG is doing here. Impact comes in. He's going to go Mega. And so I mean, he's probably going to get like a decent playoff here. Probably. Right? Lions whiffs the hook. Who'd have thought? Kryra gets the drag, but in doing so, the positioning of DSG for this team fight is complete garbage. Complete garbage. And so all the carries, all the squishies are back here completely exposed, and all the tanks with no damage are over here, or the bruisers / tankier members of the team are over here with no hope of winning a fight. Look at this. Lions dies for free. And it's just, yeah. They're just, oh, Sejed. Nice move by Sejed. But yeah, the positioning out of DSG in this fight, terrible. Really bad. But they get the drag. They trade 1-for-1 support for jungle. It's decent still. I don't think they should have gotten away with it. But they did. Okay? They did. Sentinels, again, really didn't play that as hard as they could have, or as well as they could have. They should have just sent it. The moment that these guys were separated, like, these guys should ignore, like, have Impact die to these guys. Rahel and Huhi need to send it onto Call Me Sejed. They just need to send it. Darkwings needs to send it. You know, Hambach needs to send it. Don't get distracted. Do not try, like, why are we attacking the tanks? Why are we attacking the bruisers and the tanks? Kill Sejed. Kill Sejed, kill Call Me. They're right there. It's just so poorly played by Sentinels. It's kind of crazy. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. DSG. Yeah, so game's going well for DSG right now. Game's going well. And so honestly, like, you know, at this point when I was watching this, I was thinking like, yeah, DSG is gonna get away with game 2 here. You know, they didn't play super well, but Sentinels is just so garbage that they're gonna get away with this. And then Kryra, bro, I like this kid. I think he's got a great future. But what is this? He's in the bush, by the way. He sees Hambach. Look at what he's like. What is he doing? What is he doing, man? Kryra, why? Just what is the thought there? I don't know. You're jumping onto a Seraphine with charge, and you're jumping onto an Ashe with ult. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And then DSG has to give Baron here. TP by Castle. Call Me gets... Bro, Lions with the greatest hook of all time. Good job, man. You found the Jarvan. Rahel dies. Wow. They get absolutely torn apart. I mean, how do they lose this fight, by the way? How do they lose this fight? They just, like, I don't know. Like, Sentinels just has no plan. They have no thought of what they're actually doing. They're just kind of like, okay, we gotta kill. Let's just do Baron. They have no thought of, like, how are we going to play this fight? Yo, how are we supposed to win? Impact has no TP. So he can't join this fight. They're playing it 4v5, right? And that's kind of on Impact, and that's also kind of on his team for not being like, no, we're doing Baron. Like, you have to do Baron with us. And just giving up whatever Castle was going to get. And it's just like, bro, like, what is this? They're all grouped up. They're not, like, just make a decision. Make a decision. Go somewhere. Fight a certain side. Why is... You know, like, why are we just kind of standing here doing nothing? Rahel's just dying for free against against Castle, who he's not doing anything. Darkwings is split off over here. Hambach's getting pulled by Lions, like just dry. I don't know, like nothing's happening this fight. You know, they're just being like, yeah, okay, we lost, and they're just losing. I don't know. Honestly, it's like, now that I'm watching it back, it's kind of a miracle. It's kind of a miracle that Sentinels won this game. It really is. Like, how does this happen? If Kryra doesn't run it down mid there, by the way, like, this game looks so different. Castle just dies. His team watches because, I don't know, either they just decided they couldn't do anything or they were just too scared to do anything. And so he just dies for free. And then Sentinels is like, oh, time for Baron. And so they're back onto Baron, except this time DSG don't have Castle. And so it's really hard to fight, so they're just going to take drag, which is honestly fine. Perfectly fine with me. And then here we go. Lions can find the hook. We believe... Oh, nope. That's a minion. That's a minion, buddy. Kryra's looking for a good ult opportunity here, and he's not going to find it. I mean, yeah, this game's really even. It shouldn't be. Sentinels should just run them over, but I don't know, man. Like, DSG is just playing really poorly this game. Lions and Kryra in particular are just not having a good game. Call Me feels kind of useless, but I can't really blame him. Like, he's not playing poorly, he's not being given context that allows him to play this game well. You know, like, just the environment's bad for him in this game. And so I can't really blame him in this game in particular. Some of the later games are a little egregious, but, you know, it's fine. Darkwings gets chunked, Kryra goes in, he gets knocked up, doesn't really do anything. Lions and Call Me get stunned, so they can't follow up and do any damage. Teamfight is just won by Sentinels. Lion hooks another minion. Yeah. Impact actually doesn't... Oh, yeah. It really just doesn't get a good ult there. He dies here, I'm pretty sure. Yep. But Call Me dies as well. 2 for 2. Castle gets caught out, dies at the end of the fight. Big Realm Warp. Big Realm Warp. Big hook. Huge hook by Lions. Love that. But yeah, and then Sentinels pretty much just wins off of this. They get drag. This is it. This is the last fight. Kryra, Call Me, dies. Good Seraphine ulti onto Kryra. Impact is 1v9ing in the backline. Just like, holy shit. Yeah, just not playable. Not fucking playable by at the end there. Yep. So Sentinels support gap, honestly kind of true. Well, not even kinda, my bad, sorry. Jungle support was garbage this game from Disguised. I'm not really sure what Lions and Kryra were doing this game. And then here's the mega draft. This is peak. I think this draft is peak. This looks like an LS draft back in C9 on 20. Was it 21 or 22? I think 21 was the Vulcan Perks roster. 20, I think it was 22. Yeah, this is like an LS draft, C9 22. You got the Senna, you got the Shuzen, fucking Yone, Ivern. Like, oh my god, this draft is diabolical. I love it though. I'm a fan. Now, Kennen, really good here. Kennen's great here. Impact was an amazing pick. Senna should be good here, but as you're going to see, and I will point this out, there isn't a whole lot to show in the early game. Oh my... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Fucking ads, man. Okay. So there isn't much to say about this game early. I mean, we can watch this fight, but really all you're going to notice is that Sentinels is just kind of shitting on them in every fight. to me, it kind of feels like DSG thought that they could play like an interesting team comp, but they didn't really understand how to execute it very well. And because of it, like, they just get really caught out here in the map, and they're not making good decisions. But all in all, gold's pretty even. Gold is relatively even. You know, they're trading obviously Drake for nothing here, but that's fine. It's fine. But yeah, if you're looking at the gold here, Sentinels has like a 1k gold lead. Overall, it's going fine for DSG, considering they're a late game, team. Rahel almost dies, then dies. Good kill on the Sajed here. Now, Sajed should carry this game, but he's trolling. Okay, and let me explain. Let me explain why he's trolling here. This build is garbage. If you want to play Senna, especially after the recent patch that just came out, it just released today. If you want to play Senna, do not play this build. This build is troll, okay? Let me show you something. Let me tell you something. Let's go to u.gg. Oh, actually, no. Sorry. dpm. Wait, isn't it? I thought... Oh, I put DPL. DPM. Oh my god, man. There we go. Okay. So let's go to DPM. What they will tell you, and this is big riot. This is big riot. They're lying to you with this build. You can't even find Senna 80 carry. She's so unplayed. I have to go to support and find her. So, okay. Brief history lesson here. Brief history lesson. Senna was changed, I want to say it was a year and a half ago, maybe. And her Q was changed to do damage. To not scale with crit and instead to, scale more so with healing. They wanted the healing to be more important. This is a lie. Okay, it is a complete farce. Do not believe it. Do not make a change. Like, I'm sorry. If you go back and you just play the build that existed before the change, Senna is so much better. Okay? But if you are going to play our 80 carry, what a lot of people got baited into was this build here. This build. First of all, Static Shiv, garbage item. Garbage item, change my mind. I hate this item. It is awful. I used to build it on Kai'Sa. I used to build it on Ashe. I used to build it on Senna. And let me tell you, and I also used to build it on Zeri. And I have never once, except when it first came out and it was really busted, I have never once since that point enjoyed using this item. It is a garbage item. Do not build this item ever on any champ. Not worth it. Okay? Black Cleaver. This is the most Riot patch bait thing I've ever seen in my life, by the way. They put out on a patch. I forget if it was the patch itself or if it was like a community member or like a Reddit post or something. But people were like, well, if you use Senna Q and you use it with Black Cleaver, it applies Black Cleaver to everything. Like, you get so much value out of it. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like, you have to build Black Cleaver. And it is so garbage on Senna. Okay? It is 40 damage and 20 ability haste. It is not worth it under any circumstance to build this on Senna. Do not build this on Senna. Ever, 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 ever. I cannot say this enough. I really can't. Okay? It is so bad. All right? And Disguise nearly lose this game simply because Sajed is playing the fucking Static Shiv Black Cleaver Senna build. All right. If you want the real Senna build, I will give it to you. All right. Let me demonstrate here. Do they have items? I don't know if they have items here. All right. First item, Kraken Slayer. Kraken Slayer first item. Have to go Kraken Slayer first item. If you're not, you're trolling. Second item, Hex Optics. Insanely good. Senna gets the passive off this by default. By default. Just like Caitlyn. Gets the passive on it by default. Okay? And they actually lowered it down to 500 in the recent patch, and so it's even better. Right? Kraken Slayer. Hex Optics. Now, in terms of boots, I'm a Berserker's Greaves enjoyer, personally. I like the early attack speed power spike in lane, but that's because I'm low elo and I'm garbage, okay? If you want to go Swifties, no issue, right? I support your decision, okay? Next item, IE. Have to go IE here. Then your armor piercing of choice, whether that's Mortal Reminder or that's LDR, one of the two, and then finish it off with a beautiful, depending on what you're dealing with, you can either go Rapid Fire Cannon or hear me out, a bit of Bork action. A bit of Bork action is solid here. Fleet Footwork is the rune. Do not go anything else. If you go anything else, you are trolling. What did Sajed go this game, actually? He went Fleet Footwork. Very nice. Okay, but that's my rant. That's my rant on the Sajed build in Game 3 here. But yeah, I hate this. Hate this build. I feel like he's completely useless in team fights. Look at this. Black Cleaver. Static Shiv, right? All right, Sentinels pretty much just win every fight. They're kind of destroying Disguised, and then the miracle happens. The miracle. Disguised down 4.5k, 9 kills to 2. It's looking really rough for DSG. Let's tune in. Call me. Catching out the guy. Look at Hambach dying for free here. For free. Huhi. Huge one-man ulti by Huhi, by the way. Massive play by Huhi on the rel. Kind of crazy. So Shed gets the KS with the ulti here. Look at this. Look at Castle. Look at Castle. Watch him bonk. Watch his bonk his way to victory. Darkwing's the hook. Boom. Boom. Susan strikes again. Massive fight by DSG. Castle's too big. Castle is too big. They get Baron. They're walking down mid. This was really fun to watch in real time, by the way. This was really enjoyable. If you did not watch this series, like this full series, go back. Like, even the games that are stomps are really, really fun to watch. Just completely degenerate. But DSG wins this game. Big split pushing by Impact here. Love to see it. Call Me dies for free. He honestly did not have a good game on Yone. It was pretty tragic. Lions also didn't have a great game on Nautilus. These two kind of ran down the series. I'm not gonna lie. If they just played average or okay, Sentinels would have gotten fisted and would have lost 3-0, if I had to guess. Here we go. Huge drag fight. Huge drag fight. 4v5. Impact is very late, but he does have TP. Lions looking for the hook. Looking for the hook. Hang on. They catch out the Pact. Massive, massive engage by the Huhi. Yep. It should be over right here. That was amazing, by the way. Great engage by Huhi. Amazing. And yet they still lose. All right, Sajed, by the way, notice, Hex Optics, IE, now useful, okay? He's actually going to deal damage. Look at him. Look at him melt Huhi, by the way. Isn't that crazy? Senna is actually disgustingly broken. Like, a really good AD carry, and no one plays her because everyone is under the impression that she's garbage, and it's because no one builds her correctly. Look at how much damage he does. Look at that. Isn't that nuts? And it's because he has IE, and it's because he has fucking Hex Optics. If you just build correctly, this champ is disgustingly broken, and Riot just gave it a buff. If you want free LP, in low elo, I don't know about, high elo. I can't speak to that. But if you're silver to emerald, lock in Senna AD carry, build the build I told you, you will win every game. It is so free. So fucking free. Look at this. He's cracked. He does so much damage, man. It's not even fair. It's not even fair. Look at what he's doing to them, bro. Look at what Castle's doing to them. Holy shnikes, man. My God. So despite Call Me and Lion's best effort, Disguise still win this game. They really tried to run it down, and they couldn't quite manage it. All right. Game 4 draft. This game, complete stomp. DSG lost this game at I think they lost this game at 8 or 9 minutes, something like that. In terms of composition, I really like Sentinels, but only because I feel like it's a very actually, I don't know. I don't know if I like Sentinels draft. Miss Fortune's a really interesting AD carry in pro. But she's definitely given a lot of tools here. This is the MF comp. We're gonna put them in Vigar cage, and then we're gonna ult you with Misfortune. We're gonna not lock you down with Leona, and then we're gonna ult you with Misfortune. Or we're gonna lock you down with Vi, and then we're gonna ult you with Misfortune. We're gonna get a huge Zehen ulti, and then we're gonna ult you with Misfortune. You know what I mean? Right? This comp has one thing that it wants to do. And so in that case, in that particular instance, I like it. I think they actually have a nice distribution of damage, of scaling, of utility. I think overall it's a well-designed composition. I think my only concern with Wombo combo comps like this is that one thing goes wrong and you just lose every fight, right? One champ is set behind early, in one team fight, someone doesn't get their CC off or gets caught, and you're just done. You just can't play any team fight properly, right? And so it's very, I don't want to call it one-dimensional because it's not one-dimensional damage-wise, but I feel like it's a very strict composition. But if the conditions are right, if the context is right, you should win every time, right? This is pretty disturbing. Right? If they do land the Wombo combo, they win every fight. Just absolute destruction every fight. On DSG's side, it's a pick comp. It's a split pushing comp. I'm not sure about the Mundo here. I'm not a huge fan of Mundo into just piles and piles of CC. Mundo is walking into Leona, Vigar, Vi, Misfortune. Right? And also he's a punching bag for a Zehen in any team fight, which is never a good thing. I like the Nami. I like the Corki. I'm fine with the Ari. I'm just not a fan of the Mundo here. Disguise. Let's take a look. So Kryber gets caught out here, and this is tough for him. This really makes the game hard for him to play. Kind of unfortunate that Huhi just so happens to be standing there. But, I mean, yeah, it's tough. So they get a lead off that, makes Kryra's jungle experience a little bit harder because Vi's a little stronger early. But overall, not bad. I mean, they get first drag. They don't really lose off of that invade. Humbot comes in here. Dry. What does Call Me have, by the way, here? Doesn't have flash. Has the LT. has the ulti, and we are getting hit dry by Vigar Cage. We are a pro player in the year 2026 getting dry hit by Vigar Cage. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And so he dies for free here. Hambach gets the kill, so it's not the worst thing in the world. It could have gone to Dark Wings. That would have been really bad. Okay. Team fight. Team fight here. Sajed really late. Kryra is going in. His 80 carry is in Narnia. Narnia. Let's wait a bit. Posture a bit. You're choking them out here. You're surrounding them. Wait until your Corki's in position. Why are we sending it? Thoughts? Thoughts? Like, come on. What are we doing? And so they just turn onto the Ahri. They turn onto the Ahri. This should be a good ult by Lions, and it is. It's actually a pretty solid ult. But again, Sajed, super late. If they just wait, if they just posture a little bit more, Sajed gets so much more out of this fight. Like, they win this fight so hard if they just play it slower. And instead, they just get absolutely wiped, and the game is completely unplayable after this. Like, they just get destroyed. This game's not even close. Look at this. Look at this. 20 minutes, 8-2, 4K gold lead for Sentinels. Absolutely despicable. Yep. Yep. Just bad. Just bad. They come back, and they finally put them out of their misery. I'm just like, it's honestly just so disturbing. Also, I don't know. I like Sajed's build here. No, it's fine. Sajed's build is fine. Never mind. No reason to criticize that. But yeah, they lose off of that fight because like the moment that this comp is ahead, they can't play team fights. Right? Like they really have to fuck up in a team fight to lose. Once they have any sort of lead. It's not possible. Yeah, I mean, again, if they just wait for Sajed in that team fight, this game is so playable. It's so playable. Instead they run it down like that. Sentinels gets a free win. Draft diff, props to Golden Glue. Draft diff, props to Golden Glue. Very well done. Okay, game 5. Game 5 is honestly a complete tragedy. This is draft gap from the beginning. This game is completely unplayable for Disguised. And don't get me wrong, I get it. It's fearless. There's a lot of bans. There's a lot of mid bans. You know, you don't have a lot of options, but the support and mid pick here by DSG, in my opinion, is complete garbage. I'm also not a huge fan of the jungle pick. I'm okay with Sivir. Sivir into this comp is fine. Bard, maybe if you were like Busio Bard or Vulcan Bard, this is winnable, but I think Bard here for Lions is pretty garbage. I think Bard struggles in this game to get a lot of value. Tristana is just going to get locked down by too many things, right? Like you're either getting locked down by Galio, you're getting locked down by Xin, you're getting locked down by Hui, you're getting locked down by Rakan, you're getting locked down by Varus, right? Like all 5 of those champs can lock down Tristana and she becomes completely useless in a team fight. I think Rumble is the only pick I actually really like here. Well, Rumble and Sivir are the only picks I really like here from DSG. I think Sejuani works if you have a, like imagine, I don't even know who they could pick here. I mean, it's tough. Like Fearless Game 5 is just tough, but it's like Sejuani with any sort of melee support is so much better than this. Right? Sejuani with even any sort of melee mid is so much better than this, right? You can play Yasuo here. I mean, it's interesting, and maybe Calmly isn't a good Yasuo, but you could play Yasuo here, right? Like that's absolutely a thing. In terms of melee supports, who's still available? Thresh is available. You could play Thresh here. Actually, no, Thresh is a range support, isn't he? Yeah, that is like a weird technicality. Who could they play? We need dpm.lol again. Who could they play? Actually, I think Braum was banned. Braum is available? Wait. I'm sorry, what? Braum is available this game and we're not picking it? We are not picking Braum into Rakan Varus. Hui. What? This is a team that wants to, like, run into you. Braum gets so much value this game. What are we doing? Why are we not picking Braum? Why is DSG not picking Braum? Why are we picking Lions Bard in Game 5? Whatever. Whatever, man. I don't know. But they get fisted here. Like, this is really bad. It's just another absolute shellacking. Big kill there for Kryra. But yeah, DSG gets fisted here. There really isn't a point in watching too much of this. We can watch some of Lion's amazing Bard ultis, though. Call Me gets the tower. Wait, actually, okay. Okay. They go, they're like, okay, we can kill Impact. They're like, oh, no, actually, never mind, we can't kill Impact. And then Call Me doesn't kill the tower before he starts autoing Impact, so he takes a tower shot. And then he just gets collapsed on and dies. And then there's a team fight for drag, which DSG is late to, so they just end up giving drag. Huge Rumble ulti by Castle. Massive Rumble ulti. Love that from him. Nothing happens there. Call Me gets dove on top tier 1. This is actually a solid Bard ulti by Lions here. If your goal is to, like, delay. Really good Bard ulti. And then DSG gets some value back here. They get some value. Look at this. This isn't as much of a fisting as I remember. For some reason, I thought this was more of a fisting. So DSG actually have a really good fight here. They're even at 20 minutes. The only problem is that Sentinels have just been stacking objectives for free. Look. Golden Glue, bro. Oh my god, I feel so bad for him. I would lose my mind if I was coaching these players. Wait, did he just say? What did he just say? Thoughts? What did he say? Did he just say, what the fuck are we doing? Bro, that is amazing. I love that. I love that from Golden Glue, because he knows, like, that game, it should just be in the bag, man. And they're just throwing randomly. I don't know. I don't know. They actually, like, they're in a good spot. They're in a relatively good spot here. I do still think this is massive draft gap, though. Like, I don't see how it's playable. Castle kind of, well, Castle does get caught out here. Huge Rumble ulti. Dies. Bard ulti's garbage. Sejed can't even kill Hambach now. Gets rooted. Fails flash. Yep. Yep. Some individual mistakes. And then I think the game's just over from here. What? So Hambach dies here. He gets caught out. Castle's still alive. Galio does absolutely nothing. DSG just get one for nothing there. And then they come back to fight Baron 2 minutes later. What? That Rumble ulti is just garbage. Castle really didn't have a good game here. Whoa. Yeah. I don't know. They're just way too split. Way too split in that team fight. Alright, this video is getting kind of late. So anyway, it's kind of close, and then they get Baron. 31 minutes. Big TP here for Castle. This game is on Lions and Castle, really, I'd say. But also, I think it's just draft cap. I don't see how it's playable. For Elder, bro, the Bard ulti onto the Equalizer. Oh my god, man. It's just bad. Kryra just dies, or he pretty much dies. Nice play by Call Me, though. Oh, Call Me, no! The W of Doom. Oh, no. Yep. And that's game, baby. That's game. So yeah, that was the DSG Sentinel series. Overall, I don't think Sentinels really played all that well. I think their drafting in games 3 through 5 was better than DSG's, but I don't really think that they played all that well in this series. And so I'm going to maintain my hate for Sentinels. And here's my thing. Here's my Sentinels rant, okay? Very quick rant because I'm already 55 minutes in. 55 minutes into this. Sentinels, okay, if you are a fan of LCS, you should want Sentinels to fail. You really should. You should want them to lose every single game. You should want them to literally be the worst team in the league by far. You should root for every other team other than Sentinels, okay? This team, evil team. And I will show you why. This team is a detriment to the league. Look at this, man. It is 4 Koreans. 4 Koreans. And not even Yon Korean, where you're just being a racist, right? They are literally just 4 Koreans and Darkwings, right? Right? If this team succeeds, it spells doom for the league. You are telling orgs that it is okay to build rosters this way. It is okay that we can go back to the dark ages of LCS where teams would just like fork over shit tons of money so that way we can have as many Koreans in the league as possible. Right? There's nothing wrong with having some Koreans on your roster. There's nothing wrong with importing players. I don't have a problem with it. Right? Like, I think tasteful imports include Cloud9. I think Thanatos, really talented top laner, right? Mixed in with 3 NA players and another import in Sven, I have no problem with that roster. This roster is a great balance, amazing balance. If this team wins at an international, again, big stretch, but let's say they did, no one is going to sit there and be like, oh, well, they're not really North American. They're not really a North American team. They, their win doesn't really count. Like it goes to a different region, right? If Dignitas wins, right? XU, Palafox, FBI, right? They have 2 Korean players, Ignar, Photon, but that's fine because they have 2 Americans, they have an Australian. I'm completely fine with that. An Australian who OSHA's really now just NA, honestly. But, whatever, right? There's nothing wrong with these 2 teams winning. FlyQuest, you have Griffin, you have Masu, you have Cryogen, who's also an American. Don't let this fool you. He is Vietnamese, but he's also an American. Okay? And they're importing Gakkos, who's a young player, and they're importing Quad. Tasteful importing. Completely okay with it. Even Lion, has Isles and Dokla. It's a little over imported. They're kind of like TL in that way, right? Like Morgan, Quid, Core, but they have Yon, they have Jose Diodo. I can live with it, right? I can live with it. It's not what I want to see, but I can live with it, right? Disguise have Kryra, they have Sajed, they have Lions, right? Importing Castle and Call Me, fine. Nothing wrong with that. Shopify, Fudge, Contracts, Seos, only importing Zinni and Bvoy, really? Well, technically Seos is an import as well. Yeah, but, same as TL and Lion, really. And then you have Sentinels. Complete degeneracy. This team is taking full advantage of the green card rule, right? Let's get Huki. Let's get Impact. Let's get Hambach. Let's get Rahel. How many Koreans can we put on a roster? If they could have, who's a Korean player that has NA residency? Is there a Korean player that has NA residency right now in mid lane? I don't think Quid does. I don't think there. I actually don't think there is. If they could though, if there was a Korean mid laner who had NA residency, they would have signed that that mid laner over Dark Wings, which is hilarious, man. Like if they could, they would be 5 Korean players playing in LCS, and they are a massive detriment, not just to the league, but to the fans as well. Because if this team, because they're already going to an international, they're going to the America's Cup. If they win, no one's going to take LCS seriously. If they were to go to first stand, God forbid, no one would take LCS seriously. Everyone would look at LCS as a joke league with no talent, no meaningful players, no North American teams, and they would just look at it as, oh, well, they're just importing as many players as possible. They're, grandfathering them in, throwing them on a roster, and then calling it a day. This is not NA League. It is 4 Koreans and Dark Wings. Okay? Like, I'm sorry. I have no problem if these players are playing in LCS and they're distributed amongst the teams, right? I have no issue with that. I don't. I'm not going to sit here and be like, there can't be any Korean players in LCS. There shouldn't be any imports. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying be tasteful about your imports. Understand that you are playing in a North American league. You can't play in a North American league and have one North American player. Okay? Right? Like, what are you telling fans at that point? All you're telling fans is that we don't give a shit about NA talent, regardless of if it's good or not, or if there is talent. We don't give a shit. We are going to throw money and we're going to completely disregard, right, like what this league is meant to be. That's my take. And so if they win, if they do well, massive detriment to the system, to the ecosystem. It is. They're a massive detriment. If you do not treat them as the villains of this split, I think you are doing a disservice to the league. I really do. Right? If you are an NA fan, you should hate on Sentinels as much as possible. Don't hate on the players, right? I'm not condoning that. I think all the players are good. I do. I think they all are solid players that would deserve a spot in LCS. But do not hate on the players, hate on the org, hate on the GM, hate on the people who built this roster, because it is despicable that this is how we're running things right now. Absolutely despicable. Okay. Sentinels rant over. Let's get into predictions. So last week, DSG I got wrong. Happens. C9 I got right. They destroyed FlyQuest, really. And so this moves up to 3. FlyQuest. Oh, sorry. Wait. 3, 0. DSG is now on 2. And Sentinels is now on 3. I've gotten every Sentinels game wrong. Oh, my God. I'm not really going to move this around. I'm still very I still think that this is the correct power rankings. And so with that, let's get to some predictions, and then we can be done. Sorry that this episode is a little long. If you're still here, I'm grateful. Fly versus Lion. I think this series is really interesting. I think, honestly, FlyQuest is... I think the 2 series against C9 are not very good at telling you, like, how good FlyQuest actually is. I think it's very misleading. What I would say is that I think pretty much these... I'll include Sentinels. These 5 teams are kind of interchangeable in some way. I think if TL played up to their potential, they would be up here with C9. But on stage, they're just a really bad team. And so I think all 5 of these teams kind of fit in a very similar like grouping or a similar bin. If I had it my way, I would only do these 4, but because Sentinels has won their last 2 series against what I would consider decent teams this split, I will give them the benefit of the doubt, even though I think they're honestly just getting lucky. And so with that said, I think Fly versus Lion will be a lot closer than I think some people imagine heading into it. I think a lot of people are going to say that Fly is mental boom. They're getting, they just got destroyed by C9 twice. Like, they're just not in a good spot. They have a lot of flaws. They're recognizing that they have a lot of flaws. But I'm going to double down here. I'm going to say Fly, but I think 3-2. I think this is a 5-game banger. I think Lion, unless they've fixed a lot of their issues around mid lane and around drafting in the last week and a half, I just don't see this team like really elevating and just getting so much better. I just don't see it. DSGTL. This is an interesting, really interesting series to predict. I think on one hand, I want to say that DSG is going to win. I do think that they can recover after a tough series against Sentinels where they honestly threw and they gave some games away in draft and in early game. But at the same time, I'm of the opinion that I do think TL will scale eventually on stage. I don't know. This is a really tough one. I'm going to go with my gut, though, and I'm going to send DSG 3-2. I think this is another banger. I think DSG take it. I think TL is really, really bad on stage right now, and I think DSG will get away with one here. And then we have the worst series of the weekend, C9 Sentinels. I'm not even going to waste your time on this one. It's a 3-0 for C9. It is. Absolute 3-0 for C9. Like, I'm sorry. This game will not be close. If FlyQuest is getting 3-0'd by C9, Sentinels is getting 3-0'd by C9 even faster. Okay? Like, this is going to be the worst series of the weekend by far. By fucking far. Completely terrible. Okay. Those are the predictions for this week. No change in the power rankings again. If you're interested in stopping by for the live stream on Tuesday, I would be really grateful. Always good to have more people there to talk about League or really anything else that you want to talk about. Go DSG, go FlyQuest, go C9. We hate on Sentinels in this community, okay? And if you're not, get the fuck out of here. If you're European, that's fine. I understand why you would root for Sentinels. It definitely embarrasses NA. And so leave a comment down below if you have a take. I'll address it in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, like. If you want more, subscribe. And I will see you on Tuesday or on Thursday.